everyone. I haven't done a video in quite a long time. I've just been focusing my attention more on Kai and Ava and other things. But lately I've been wanting to make a few videos on some thoughts that I've had and wanted to share some things with you guys. So tonight I wanted to do a video about some of the things that we use for Ava's unschooling. I don't really like to use the word schooling, but just so everybody has something to relate to, I'm just going to call it unschooling. We don't follow a specific curriculum with her. I think I said that in the other unschooling video that I did. We more so just encourage things like that she is interested in. We go along with that. And we also emphasize imaginative play as well as nature-based play, which is why we prefer to live in a warmer climate rather than a cold one, because we're able to then be outside more. Right now we're in New Jersey for the time being, and it's pretty cold here, so we're not able to do as many things outside as we would like to. But soon we'll be someplace warm. So, like I said, one of the things that we really encourage is imaginative play, and by that I mean we have a lot of different journals and sketchbooks that we give to her. She's always filling them up, so we always just get her more. So that includes her drawing. Excuse me. She writes a lot, and she just does, she writes stories and just, little things. She just likes to write things and play. So we always make sure that we have journals and sketchbooks and things like that for her. Something else that we use are different books, and the books that I like to use are nature-based, like I said. She does like to read chapter books, but something that we have found challenging with chapter books is finding some without conflict in it, and that also have meaning to them. And by that I mean, when we look for chapter books, she technically is reading above her age range. But when you look at any chapter books within that sort of age, she's 7, they're really based on, there's really a divide between male and female. So there's either there's really, really girly books, and then there's books that are more geared towards boys. There are ones that are in the middle, but when I take her to the library, she goes for those really, really girly ones. And unfortunately in those, they have, they display girls a particular way, and whether she realizes it or not, she is picking up on the way that those girls are acting in the story, which a lot of them, there's always something wrong, there's always a conflict, there's always a problem that has to be solved, there's always a good and a bad, there's, just the things that they talk about. It's just not something that we really want her attention to be focused on. So I'm still looking for books that don't have that sort of storyline to them. But for right now, we just like her to read more nature-based things, so that's what I have here to show you. This one she just got for her birthday in November, and she already read through the whole entire thing. And it's called Play the Forest School Way. And all the books that I'm going to be mentioning, we have gotten through Amazon. So this one, she absolutely loves this book, and it has It says woodland games, crafts, and skills for adventurous kids. And it just gives them different ideas of things to do outside, different games to play. She's already done quite a few crafts out of here just by going out and collecting things and bringing them in and doing them rather than doing things outside, because like I said, it's been pretty cold here and snowing, so there's not a whole lot of things that are in this book that she can do outside right now. But yeah, that's a really, really good book, and she really enjoyed reading through everything. This one, the next one, this is just like a nature journal. I got that for her 2 years ago on her birthday, and she actually uses this every single day. And she's used it pretty much every day since I got it for her. Sorry about that. Kai wants to come say hi. And so that one, she uses it all the time. So she brings it when we go hiking. She uses it just when she actually brings it in the car with us, and when, you know, we go to the store or something, and she'll write down things that she sees. There's just like a bunch of different things. Like this one, you probably can't even really see it. It talks about seasonal suggestions, so things that you can do in the spring, summer, winter, and fall and winter. And then it tells you about just different leaves, different trees. And then there's like a ton of blank pages in it where she can write her own, you know, like viewing things, what she finds outside. She does like different sketches in here of things that she finds, like leaves, feathers, flowers, just a bunch of different stuff. And that's just something that she really, really enjoys doing. So another book well, actually it's a series of books, and they're these. They're called take-along guides. And she actually has every single one of them. We originally got her a couple of them like a few years ago, and she really, really liked them. So one year for her birthday, that's what everyone got her, was just a bunch of these books, because they have all different ones on Amazon. That one's caterpillars, bugs, and butterflies. They have a trees, leaves, and bark. They have a beach one. They just have a ton of different ones. And what they are is they tell you, there's a lot of information on them. And what I like about them is that it's easy for her to understand too. She reads them by herself, and they're really easy for her to understand. But it talks about different animals, different trees, just different things in nature. And then it also gives you, see, like she uses the scrapbook. So we go and find things outside, and she likes to put them in her scrapbook so that she can look back and, like, we'll just mark what kind of trees they came from, stuff like that. And then, so those are a really good book series. And I think I just typed in like take-along guides or nature take-along guides on Amazon, and you can find all of them because they're by different authors, but they're essentially the same thing, just about different things as far as nature goes. And then, so I have two books that they aren't chapter books, but I would call them more like bedtime stories, but I really, really like them. And I wish that they had chapter books that were like this. But they're by the same author, Mike Dooley. And this one's called Your Magical Life. And then the other one is called Dreams Come True, All They Need Is You. And they're really short. She still enjoys reading them, and she actually will read them to Kai, or she just sits and reads them by herself. But they talk about like how essentially how we're magical and, you know, we have no limitations, just things like that. There's absolutely no conflict in them. They're just a really nice story to read and to have. I don't know, I've never seen any books like those before, so I really like them, and I highly recommend them. So that's it really for books, because like I said, I haven't really been able to find too many things. She does read, they're called Herb Fairies, and it's a whole book series. Those are better than some of the books that are out there. Unfortunately, there is still a lot. They're chapter books and there's a lot of conflict in them, so they're still showing a good and a bad, rather than just, you know, equal. So those are still some of the ones that she reads. And then I also wanted to bring up board games. We do play board games with her, and the ones that we like are cooperative games. And the reason why we chose those over competitive games is because we saw how she acted. Even playing a simple game like Go Fish, she would get really, really upset if she lost, or she would get really, really happy if she won. And it was just like we wanted her to just enjoy what she was doing and not focus on winning against somebody, pretty much. And there's actually a ton of cooperative games, and we like them. She likes them just as much as the competitive ones, if not more. And actually, whenever we're together when she's like with kids her age who are very competitive and used to playing, you know, sports and things like that, they actually really enjoy playing the games too. At first, they're a little confused about, you know, that there's essentially that you're not playing against each other, you're playing together to win. But once they get that, then they really enjoy playing it. So some of the games that she plays, one of them is called Wildcraft, and hold on, Kai is at that age where he goes all over when he's nursing. So this is one of them. It's Learning Herbs Wildcraft. That's one of her favorite games. She's had it for a while now, and we play it. I mean, she would play it constantly, every day. And it's it teaches kids about herbs, and you're all working together to go up the mountain and get these berries and then go back to Grandma's house. So I like it because you're working together, and it's teaching her just about different herbs and what you can use them for. So that's a really good one. And then some other ones I don't have around me right now, but they're by Game Right, and it's called Forbidden Island. There's one I can't think of, Forbidden Desert, and then there's another one called Outfoxed. So those are all cooperative. I know there's more. Those are a bit more challenging. I think they're for ages maybe 8 and up or 10 and up. I'm not sure, but she's only 7, and she figured them out pretty quickly. But she really, really, really likes those too. I would say that Wildcraft is a bit more, it's easier and more laid back. The other ones are a little bit more challenging. So that's it for the games pretty much. And then I also wanted to talk about that she does learn through everyday experiences. So that's something that I think people overlook or don't really think about, is that we are constantly learning. We're constantly taking in information. and we're gaining knowledge through everything that we do. So I have an example just recently, that's why I'm thinking of it. I have an Etsy shop, and she loves to help me write, like when I upload a new item, she loves to help me do that. And I was talking to Corey, and I said, something that people don't think about is how something, like with her just helping me with that, there was a lot of different things that we did just with one listing that you could consider her learning something. So we don't do like spelling tests or anything like that for her. However, she writes the whole description for me, and I just tell her what I want the description to say, and she types it out. So one, she's learning how to type. Not that that's really essential, but I mean, there are computer classes in school, so she is learning how to type. And then she's also learning, she knows a lot of words, but there's still some that she is, has trouble with, and so she has to sound them out. And so she has to sound out each letter and type it out. And yes, it takes more time for me rather than if I were to just do it myself, but she really likes doing it, and it's not like I'm making her sit there and do it. She asks me if she can help, and she enjoys doing it, and she's learning because she's learning how to spell the words, and then she's also learning, so then we put the price in, so she's learning about money, and not that that's really essential either. I'm just giving some examples. And then she is also learning what you would call math skills, I guess, because we measure for shipping, we measure the box out, we do length, width, and height, and then we weigh it. So she's also learning that. So she's using a ruler, and she's learning about inches and things like that. So, and that's just one example. Like, she helps with cooking, she helps with baking. We really don't measure a lot of things when we cook. It's more that we just do what we want. But she loves to help in the kitchen, so she's learning, about different herbs, about different spices. When we ferment a lot of things, she's learning about that. When we sprout things, she's learning, how to grow things, essentially. Just everything. There's so many opportunities that you have throughout your day where you are learning something, and we just tend to overlook that because it's a part of our everyday life. And to me, she's learning more by doing all these things and experiencing all these things rather than just going and sitting in a classroom and memorizing things where, that she's graded on, because we never grade her on anything. To me, that's just absurd that you would tell a child, especially, that they didn't do good enough. Where we should be telling them that they're always enough. There's nothing that they're doing that's wrong. However, when you're in a classroom and you take a test and you get this, and this wrong, that is, really that's putting negative thoughts in your head, because then you're not thinking that you're good enough. At least that's how I felt during school, and I know a lot of people that I talk to felt during school as well. And then also, when we go places, she is learning through interactions of people. She gets to meet people of all different kinds, of all different ages, everywhere we go. And to me, that's really important that she's experiencing those. Thank you. That she's experiencing those interactions with people, not just children her own age, because we're taught in this society that kids should always be around their own age, that it's important to be around kids their own age, which it is to a certain extent, but it's just as important for them to be around people of all different ages, because truly age does not matter. It's what kind of person that you are and what you're bringing, essentially. So she could be talking to a person that's 80 years old, and she can learn a whole lot from them, compared to somebody that's her age that just sits there watching TV all day, when they get home from school, where they're just sitting there being programmed. So they're just being programmed all day long. To me, she's not really getting anything from that. To me, that's more of something that's a negative thing, rather than going and, getting a positive experience out of something. And which is also something that I've noticed, and that's just because we're not around people who share the same ideas or values as us. Most of the kids that she has been around, that's all they are, is programmed. They're used to watching TV all day, to playing video games, being in school all day. So when they talk to her, there's somewhat of a barrier there. And that just, if she was around kids whose parents shared the same interests as us, I think it would be different. There would be a lot more imaginative play going on, because that's something that I realized, that because she's been playing with somebody who is around her age, and when they get together, it's a lot more, he always wants the TV on, and he wants to do this and that, and he's just like saying certain things, rather than them just going and just being and just playing. So yeah, I don't know. I just think that that we are learning through all of our experiences, and that it's not essential for her to just be sitting there memorizing something day after day after day that she really isn't going to remember necessarily. So I think that's it for this one. For people who are interested in a nature-based curriculum, I did find something a little while ago online. I can link the website below. It has, and it's just for like more of like a homeschool structure. It's something that I was going to use when I was looking for more of a curriculum, but what I liked about it was that it was just a lot of like nature-based information, and just like different crafts and things that you can do with them, with your children. So I'll link that if anybody's interested in that. I think that's it for this one. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks, guys.